So a very big news is coming from India. In India, if you see in crypto, if you see, there is a lot of clarity when it comes to KYC. There is a clarity when it comes to prevention of money laundering, right? There is a lot of clarity in terms of taxation. So if you see, there is almost a clarity on every aspect of crypto industry. But there was one area where there was not much of a clarity, and that was how the government is going to deal with the foreign exchanges, because the foreign exchanges were continuously giving their services to Indians. And there was a complaint from the Indian ecosystem, specifically, the Indian exchanges. When we used to speak to them, they always used to complain that the level playing field is not equal, right? And the game is not fair for everyone. Why? Because the Indian exchanges are supposed to follow all the rules, because almost all the rules related to KYC and PMLA and taxation are very clear. But when it comes to foreign exchanges, things are not clear, right? And what has happened in the past after the tax announcement, that a lot of people have moved from the Indian exchanges to foreign exchanges, and there was no clarity as such, right? So, but for the first time, I mean, today, why it is important and why I'm covering this in English, and later on I'll cover this subject in Hindi, is because I want everybody to understand that how important is the news today, and why there is a positivity in this news. Because a lot of people might think that this news might create a lot of panic and how things are going to turn up. But let me tell you, this is one of the most positive news that has happened in the recent past in the Indian crypto space, right? So things have happened in such a way that, if you see, uh, there was this question that was asked by one of the member of Indian Parliament. And this question, because there are two ways of doing it. One, you can ask a question directly orally, and the other way to do is just to ask a question, in a written form, and then, you can expect a written reply. So if you're asking a question in written, uh, you get a reply in written, right? So there are unstarred questions, there are start questions. I'm not getting into those details, but the question was asked, in written by Shri Love You Shri Krishna, right? And the question goes like this: Will the Minister of Finance be pleased to state the details of all the registered entities as per the AML and CFT guidelines for reporting entities providing services related to virtual digital assets guidelines? So basically, this question is like, uh, the he's asking for the list of all the entities as per the list of all the reporting entities as per the AML and CFT guidelines. So let me give you a little bit of background. I mean, few months back, only in 2020, 23, virtual digital asset service providers were included as reporting entities. I mean, earlier the reporting entities were, if you see the definition of reporting entities, so as per section 21, of the PMLA, means reporting entity meant a banking company, financial institution, intermediary, or a person carrying on a designated business or profession, right? So few months back, I mean, the crypto companies were treated as reporting entities, and that was a big news, because now when you are treating virtual digital service providers as reporting entities, they are supposed to behave in the same way. They are supposed to provide the reports in the same way, the way banking and other financial institutions do it in the country. And that almost gives them some sort of a legitimacy, right? That, okay, now you are conducting a business in the country, okay, and since you are dealing in finance, you're dealing in virtual digital assets, you need to provide, reports that are expected from you in a particular format, and some kind of compliance is expected from you. And the exchanges had started following all these guidelines set up by FIU, Financial Intelligence Unit. So the question is such that, what the question is asking for all the listed entities in the country today who are treated as reporting entities in the virtual digital asset space, and who are following the guidelines, right? Now the second question is whether these guidelines and reporting requirements are applicable to offshore crypto exchanges servicing the Indian market. This question is very important, because he's straightforwardly, Mr. Shri Love is asking for this question, this clarity, that that, what about the offshore exchanges, who are operating in the Indian marketing, servicing Indians, right? Are these guidelines, the guidelines under the PMLA guidelines, right, are applicable for on offshore exchanges or not? If so, please provide the details. If the guidelines are applicable, provide the details. If not, then the remedial action taken or likely to be taken in case of non-compliance of such offshore exchanges, right? Now the answer was such. First answer is that the detail of the virtual digital asset service providers, all the reporting entities that are registered with the government, the annexure is attached. So I'll go on to that list. But the second question answer is very important. Second answer is yes, the guidelines and reporting requirements are applicable to offshore crypto exchanges servicing the Indian market. So basically, the all the guidelines that the Indian exchanges are following are applicable to offshore exchanges. The process of registration for the said virtual digital asset service provider has been initiated. This is the most important line. The process of registration for the said VDA service providers has been initiated. This is a very positive sign, because somewhere now this line says that somewhere the government is planning for the process of registration. They are initiating, they have started either they have started or they're planning to start a process of registration for the offshore virtual digital asset service providers. And appropriate action under PMLA shall be initiated in case of non-compliance by offshore exchanges. So this is very important. If the government starts the process of registration, and if somebody if an offshore exchange doesn't register with in the country, and the in case they found that they are still non-compliant, actions will be taken, right? So this is very important, because there could have been a line where the answer could have said that the process of banning those offshore exchanges is on, or the government is planning to bar foreign exchanges to operate in the country. So now what happens that if this line says that the process of registration for the said VDA service provider has been initiated, this gives you a signal that now the government wants a level playing field for all the players. If a foreign entity wants to operate in the country, they need to register here, and this is exactly what US has also done. US said that if you want to serve my people, if you want to serve Americans, you're welcome, but you need to come and settle here, get a license, follow all the rules related to taxation, money laundering, and all that stuff. So you need to register here. So this is very important, right? So the next annexure is these are the list. Almost you find all the familiar names are here: Coin DCX, ANQ Finance, Uno Coin, OnRamp, Giotas, Bitbanners, Zeppe, Wazirex, CoinSwitch, Mudrex, BioCoin, Rario. All these names are very familiar, and there are close to 28 reporting entities mentioned here. So you won't find any name related to Binance, OKX, KuCoin. You're not able to find them. So if those are not here, that means they are not reporting entities. And if they are not reporting entities, government is planning the process of registration for the said VDA service providers, right? And even after that, they are found to be non-compliant. I mean, strict action will be taken. And if somebody is not interested to register here, obviously they won't be able to serve the Indian market. So probably you can see in future what's coming, and this is a positive news. Why? Because if you know right now, if you see this area is like a kind of a gray area where a lot of confusion is there, but after this, if the government comes up with this thing, you'll see foreign exchanges entering into India, registering here, setting up their offices. We saw Coinbase a couple of months back, then they made an exit. uh, I came to know that Gemini is there in Gurgaon. Probably Gemini might enter into India, Kraken might enter into India, Binance might enter into India. And if there is a foreign exchange who doesn't want to operate, who doesn't want to register here, probably will make an exit and won't be able to serve Indians. So if you want to serve Indians, get registered here and follow all the rules. And probably Indian exchanges will be happy, because Indian exchanges will say that okay, now the game is fair for everyone. And you might see, since the foreign exchanges have a deep pockets, you might see that they might entering into India by doing a joint venture kind of a thing with Indian players, or maybe buying a majority stake in Indian exchanges and then operating here. So you might see these kind of things as well. But all in all, I think this is a very positive news. And this question was smartly put in the parliament, and the answer was crisp but very clear, right? So this was the update in English. And now I like to give an update in हिंदी. So हिंदी में इसको इस तरीके से समझिए कि पार्लियामेंट के अंदर एक सवाल पूछा गया कि कौन सी वो रिपोर्टिंग एंड, क्योंकि आपको पता है कि क्रिप्टो एक्सचेंजेस जो है वो रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटीज जो है वो कुछ महीने पहले रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटीज का दर्जा मिला था इन्हें, कि जो वर्चुअल डिजिटल एसेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स हैं ये रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटीज है। ये बहुत बड़ी बात थी, क्योंकि जो फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन है, बैंकिंग, इंश्योरेंस और ये सब तो रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटीज थे ही। और लेकिन अब वर्चुअल डिजिटल एज अ सर्विस प्रोवाइडर को भी रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटी करार कर दिया गया था। रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटी का मतलब है कि भाई जितनी भी कंप्लायंस है, रिपोर्टिंग्स हैं, स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं, आपको जो डेटा और कंप्लायंस करनी है वो पीएमएलए की गाइडलाइंस है, उसके अंडर आपको डेटा मेंटेन करना है। एफआईयू इसको इसको एग्जीक्यूट करती है, फाइनेंशियल इंटेलिजेंस यूनिट इंडिया में, वो मॉनिटर करती है इन सारी चीजों को। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ये सवाल पूछा गया पार्लियामेंट के अंदर कि कौन सी वो एंटिटीज हैं, एक तो उनके नाम बता दीजिए, राइट। दूसरा ये पूछा कि जो रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटीज है, जो ऑफशोर एक्सचेंजेस हैं, वो जो इंडियन मार्केट को सर्व कर रही है, राइट, क्या वो ये गाइडलाइंस उन पे भी एप्लीकेबल है? अगर हाँ तो डिटेल दीजिए, नहीं तो क्या एक्शन ले रहे हैं, और क्या एक्शन ले रहे हैं अगर वो नॉन कंप्लायंट होती हैं फॉरेन एक्सचेंजेस को या ऑफशोर प्लेटफॉर्म्स को, अगर आप नॉन कंप्लायंट मानते हैं। यहाँ पे फॉरेन एक्सचेंजेस ही नहीं, जितने भी वर्चुअल डिजिटल एसेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स हैं जो फॉरेन कंट्री में या ऑफशोर जो है वो रजिस्टर्ड है और इंडियंस को सर्व कर रहे हैं। तो आंसर इसमें ये मिला कि एक तो जो लिस्ट है जो रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटीज की वो अटैच्ड है, वो मैं लिस्ट आपको भी दिखाता हूँ। दूसरा यहाँ पे बोला कि जो गाइडलाइंस है ये फॉरेन एक्सचेंजेस पे भी उतनी ही एप्लीकेबल है, राइट। एंड द प्रोसेस of registration of the said VDA service provider has been initiated। मतलब ये जितनी गाइडलाइंस है ये ऑफशोर एक्सचेंजेस पे भी एप्लीकेबल है, और जो प्रोसेस है उनकी रजिस्ट्रेशन का वो इनिशिएट कर दिया गया है। अब ये इनिशिएट कब किया गया है, होने वाला है, प्रोसेस में है, ये नहीं पता, लेकिन इससे इंटेंट ये जाहिर हो रही है कि फॉरेन एक्सचेंजेस को फ्यूचर में रजिस्टर करने के लिए बोला जाएगा इंडिया में। इंपॉर्टेंट बात यहाँ पे ये कि उनको रजिस्टर करने के लिए बोला जा रहा है, बैन करने के लिए नहीं बोला गया। यहाँ पे ये भी लिखा जा सकता था द प्रोसेस ऑफ बैनिंग देम और बारिंग देम और डी लिस्टिंग देम और ब्लैक लिस्टिंग देम, कुछ भी वर्ड यूज करा जा सकता था कि हम फॉरेन एक्सचेंजेस को बैन करने जा रहे हैं फ्यूचर में। नहीं, द प्रोसेस ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर द सेट वीडीए सर्विस प्रोवाइडर हैज बीन इनिशिएटेड। ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये पॉजिटिव है, क्योंकि इससे ये होगा कि जो फॉरेन एक्सचेंजेस हैं, जो फॉरेन ऑफशोर वर्चुअल डिजिटल एसेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स हैं, वो इंडिया की तरफ रुख करेंगे। कॉइनबेस पीछे रुख किया था, जेमिनाई गुड़गांव में ऑफिस उसका है शायद या ढूंढ रहा है, क्रैकन है, बाइनेंस है, ये जितनी भी ओकेक्स है, ये जितने भी इंडिया के अंदर एक एंटिटी करने की कोशिश करेंगे, या तो तो इसका तरीका क्या होता है, जनरली इंडियन जो प्लेयर्स हैं उसके अंदर मेजोरिटी स्टेक खरीदने की कोशिश करेंगे, और मेजोरिटी स्टेक खरीदने से कि वहाँ मेजोरिटी स्टेक इनका जब हो जाएगा तो इंडिया में ऑटोमेटिकली इनकी एंट्री हो जाएगी और सारी गाइडलाइंस ये फॉलो करेंगे। तो ये एक लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड है, फेयर प्ले है। इंडियन एक्सचेंजेस कंप्लेन करती थी हमारे लिए रूल्स हैं, इनके लिए रूल्स नहीं है, लेकिन जब वो सबके लिए रूल्स एक साथ हो जाएंगे, सब रजिस्टर हो जाएंगे, तो फिर आपस में फिर कंपटीशन भी बढ़ेगा और रूल सबके लिए एक होंगे, गेम जो है वो और कंपिटिटिव हो जाएगी और अच्छी हो जाएगी कंज्यूमर के लिए, राइट। और कंज्यूमर को भी क्लैरिटी होगी, कोई किसी तरीके की कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहेगी। और यहाँ पे ये भी बोला गया कि जो इसके बाद नॉन कंप्लायंट पाया गया या अभी भी नॉन कंप्लायंट है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो वो उसके ऊपर एक्शन लिया जाएगा। तो ये एक तरीके से बहुत स्मार्टली ये क्वेश्चन पुट किया गया, इसके अंदर बहुत सारे आंसर मिल गए। आज तक आपको इंडिया के अंदर हर चीज पे ऑलमोस्ट क्लैरिटी थी। आपको टैक्स पे क्लैरिटी है, केवाईसी पे क्लैरिटी, पीएल मिले पे क्लैरिटी है। आपको जिस चीज पे क्लैरिटी नहीं थी वो ऑफशोर एक्सचेंजेस पे की क्लैरिटी नहीं थी, अब वो भी क्लैरिटी आपको आती हुई दिख रही है। ऑलमोस्ट लाइक क्रिप्टो बिल आपको ऑलमोस्ट तैयार है, हर चीज पे आपकी ऑलमोस्ट क्लैरिटी है। अब नेक्स्ट जो क्लैरिटी एक्सपेक्टेड है गवर्नमेंट की वो डीफाई और इस पे है, लेकिन वो एवर इवॉल्विंग है। आई थिंक ये पहला स्टेप आपको एक फ्रेमवर्क बनता हुआ दिख रहा है, राइट। तो ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट था आपके लिए समझना, और इसके लिए मैंने थोड़ा सा इसको इंग्लिश और हिंदी में इसलिए कवर किया है क्योंकि ये इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ है। मैं चाहता हूँ कि साउथ में भी लोग इसको समझ सकें, इस न्यूज़ की इंपॉर्टेंस को, और जो हिंदी बेल्ट है वो तो इसको समझ ही रही है, ठीक है। तो इसलिए मैंने इसको कवर करने की कोशिश करी है हिंदी में और इंग्लिश में। उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया होगा। अगर पसंद आया होगा तो प्लीज़ वीडियो को लाइक करेगा और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए अगर नहीं किया है तो, और लाइक बटन जरूर दबाइएगा। विद दिस थॉट, थैंक यू।